what the public wants. Regardless, Bird will surely join the production once The Incredibles 3 movie becomes a shoo-in, except he won't be working on anything predictable. Bird has made it clear that bigger and better is the only way to go. While he'd love to take a long vacation from The Incredibles, fans are reluctant to wait another decade or so for this movie to come out. And hey, we don't blame them. While Bird might work on some new projects before committing to writing The Incredibles 3 script, it's only a matter of time before he grabs the threequel by the horns. Edna, a villain? With so many fan theories in circulation, it can be difficult to pinpoint which ones make sense and which ones don't. But hey, don't sweat it. That's what we're here for. If there's one theory that's blowing up the scene, it's the one that places Edna Mode as a supervillain. We know what you're thinking. Yeah, right, never gonna happen. But before you go and dismiss this theory, hear us out. A Reddit user who goes by the name of Gem Games made some pretty astute observations, and we have to agree that they make sense. Sorry, Edna. He stated that if anyone has the motive to become a villain, it's Edna Mode, and this couldn't be truer. For starters, it looks like Edna is the one who designed Syndrome's super suit, because, well, she designs costumes for all the supers. Secondly, she's supposed to be a tech genius. But that didn't stop her from putting a tracker device into Mr. Incredible's suit, resulting in him being imprisoned by Syndrome. But most convincing of all is the fact that Edna has a motive. Before Mr. Incredible went and messed everything up, she was living her dream.
I used to design for gods.
But after his incident, her life's work came to a halt. So, do you think Edna could be an evil genius in disguise? One who will smile in everyone's face while plotting a timely revenge? It may seem far-fetched, we know, but anything's possible, right? Say bye-bye to Jack's powers. 14 years may have passed between the original Incredibles movie and its sequel, but time passes very differently in the animated world compared to the human world. Some fans were hoping that Jack would be all grown up by the time the movie hit the big screen, but that's not how things played out. Since Jack's powers are a mystery, fans are curious to find out if the super baby is indeed the most powerful super yet. Jack's powers are unlike anything we've ever seen, especially since it's been confirmed that he has more than 17 of them. Unlike the rest of the supers, who are lucky enough to have one or two, Jack seems to be a jack of all trades, or powers. But if The Incredibles 3 movie does indeed take place in the future, we might be faced with a sad reality. Jack's powers might not follow him to adulthood. In the end, Edna clearly stated that it's normal for babies to manifest a high number of skills due to how unpredictable they can be. Would you be devastated to find out that Jack's powers are temporary? Or are you excited to find out what his actual powers consist of? The threequel, where family trumps power. Have you ever wondered why supers don't have any background stories? Well, we have, and here's what we found. Writer Brad Bird wanted to create a superhero family who had powers that contributed to their personality. Instead of solely focusing on the history of power, Bird switched the focal point to the everyday American family. With this in mind, let's take a more in-depth look at the 5 main characters. Bob Parr is the father, which makes him a strong and supportive influence. Since dads are supposed to provide and protect, Bob has super strength as a primary skill. Moving on to Helen Parr, who is a working mother of 3. This character often has to stretch her schedule to make time for her hectic lifestyle, hence why she's Elastigirl. Next up is Violet Parr, an emotional teenager who feels like no one understands her. Her unwillingness to put herself out there has caused her to become invisible. When it comes to Dash, we think his powers are pretty self-explanatory. After all, the kid's got more energy than his parents can handle. Now last but not least is Jack, a baby with all the powers a person could dream of. If there's one thing we should all expect from the Incredibles movie, it's to understand why the supers were given their powers and not how they got them in the first place. The film won't be released before 2020. There are few things worse than having to wait for your favorite movie to come out in theaters. Yet, this was a reality that many people faced when it was confirmed that The Incredibles 2 would be coming out in theaters. Since this animated film pulled in record-breaking pre-sales, we're almost certain that a 3rd installment will be confirmed in the following months. While directors and producers have hinted toward a threequel, there's nothing set in stone just yet, and the anticipation is killing us. Although he may be reluctant to jump into the project, writer Brad Bird confirmed that he wouldn't rule out the option of another Incredibles movie. However, before he does anything, he wants to take his mind off the franchise for a little while. With this being said, many publications are warning fans not to expect the Pixar movie to come out before 2020. After all, it only took 14 years for a sequel to come around. Since it can take years to perfect a movie, let alone an animation, we wouldn't hold our breath, and we suggest that you do the same. Or not same. Don't hold your breath. While waiting for something of this magnitude can be excruciating, we're confident that the film will be well worth the wait. What do you think? Can you keep things together till 2020? Jack all grown up. Can you just imagine how amazing it would be to watch The Incredibles 3 and see a grown-up Jack on the big screen? Thinking of this is enough to make us squeal. Many theories are surrounding the plot of the third Incredibles movie, but one of them is more alluring than the rest. So imagine this. Over 2 decades have passed since The Incredibles 2 movie, and Bob and Helen are retired super veterans. In their place are their mighty children and grandchildren who continue to make the Parr name proud. If this is genuinely Brad Bird's vision for the third installment, we're bound to find out what Jack's all about. For now, it's hard to imagine him being anything other than a troublesome baby. But hey, that's why they call it the Terrible Twos, right? Who's your favorite Incredibles character? Let us know by dropping their names in the comments. And that's a wrap for tuning in to The Things, and we'll see you next time.